Okay. Um, I feel the need to make more videos now. I feel my health getting worse and worse. My every time I eat, it's just like phew, it's getting bad. I can feel some pain on the right corner side of my body, as if it's like my liver or my kidney. And I understand they've been destroying my body using this Department of Defense technology. I see things for what they are. I truly see for what they are more than ever now. As much as they try to create this fantasy, you know, you obviously figure out soon that this is not just like a bunch of random people doing things to you. Especially when you hear who's talking to you. Some of them are so childlike individuals. You're like, there is no way these people look how childlike they sound. Then you found out the horrible reality of what you've been put in. And all these psyops, all this facade, just embarrassing. You found out immediately that you're just one of many test subjects. There's this test subject where, and you should start figuring things out, almost making you feel like you're a genius. Listen, I'm not any smarter than anybody else. I'm not saying I'm not minimizing myself, but I'm not saying that's the reason why I can go back to videos I made 6 months ago and see, and now is more relevant than before. It just shows how like things are obviously there, but because you're isolated and you're mentally broken down day by day, like they say, they take you apart and just like change your brain slowly, kind of like rewire your ways of thinking, creating these narrations of reality slowly, bit by bit, slowly breaking you down, reconstructing reality in different fashion. For example, with me, they be, and the thing is, the things they said is actually projected in different ways. I hear this trash say, it's fate. And you don't know how much actually that can be true. Not fate that what's happening to me is happening to me, because this is happening to like babies, the most vulnerable people. Like, for me, when I look at what's happening to me, I cannot be like, oh God, why me? Not because I think, oh, I deserve this. It's like, they're doing that to children and women, so why not me? That's how I see this thing. It's like, you see people being tortured. That's so innocent. Like, even I couldn't even accept that this was true. You hear this women talk about these horrible things happen to them. You hear them talk about what they see their children going through. You see, so you, an adult man, why is it not possible that this is happening to you when it's happening to this vulnerable woman? Describing exactly what I'm hearing. Then you hear these bottom feeders. You're like, yes, this makes sense. Listen to how retarded they are. Try to disorient me. It's not, lately they've been very scarce. As much as they want to be so like, oh, it's fate. Now I don't even listen to target individuals' testimonials anymore. I don't. I listen to these things. This is crazy. Listen, these people have been trying to present themselves as the protector avenging on children, right? We're mapping this thing to think, oh my gosh. The entities in power in this low life. Obviously, I know it's these neighbors are not they're not protecting. Like it's obvious. Like the day. And the reason why I like to show this picture is not because I believe these people are like they're like the face of my targeting. It's because who they want me to believe is out here investigating, protecting the you see people like that, and you're like, of course, what's happened to me? You obviously not, you participate, but you're nothing. Of course, I see you. Would you ever believe somebody like this telling you some? And this is not this at least there's people much more like childlike than these people. Those, I guess, the reason why they want to be seen because they I guess look a little more like maybe, but it's so bad. Then when you hear some childlike individuals talking to you, you're like, oh my gosh, that's why. I'm a TI, I'm a target individual. I'm a test subject in the sense that I'm a human subject. The government, related to the DoD, is utilizing this very advanced, very sophisticated technology and using it onto us. The technology they use onto us is just like almost fictional because they have the ability to destroy your body, and nothing is that, like, there's nothing done to me physically, as in there's nobody really hitting me, touching me. Like, I'm being tortured. I can feel my body breaking down, and nobody has done anything to me, like, physically. All I'm experiencing today is done remotely. There's people right now I know destroying my body. They're probably wearing their PJs or sweatpants, destroying my organs. Do you think that this technology, this advanced technology, derives from people like that? Of course I know. I know it's not true. They are participants. They need people to sit there and do these things to people. And the way they try to create this psyop is like, oh, this guy's going to beat you up. He's going to be big. And he's going to be a bear. It's like, listen, you can, this person here, sitting from wherever they're sitting, can do more damage to me than a bear. Because the technology that we are subjects to are technology that is extremely sophisticated. We are just test subjects. And they use laborers of contracted civilians to apply this technology onto us. The rest is just like a theater of creation, trying to repaint this fantasy. My body is so damaged right now. I know at any point I can be paralyzed. At any point, I can lose my teeth. I can go blind in 2 seconds. I know they can do all that in a second. I know the reality of things. I'm not saying that just to say that, but I understand that's the truth. The rest is going to be a theater. It's going to be a theater of trying to create a painting because they try to present themselves as everything but what this is about. And target individual, you should never identify with any of this manipulation because this is what this technology does. This technology is sophisticated and advanced. It's not trying to figure who you are. They're trying, and not even trying, they are manipulating you. This is what this DoD technology can do. Even me speaking right now, I have to battle. Speaking is becoming challenging because I feel myself being forced to say something I don't even want to say. This is what this is really about. They are manipulating you, and then they have these people contracted to supposed to make you believe that you should identify. So they will do this thing to me. They make me experience these nasty things, right? And then they have people like them looking at their phones like, oh my gosh, we just saw that. That's true. We mapped it. When the reality is they are truly manipulating you in every ways. Your perceptions, your thoughts, your libido, your body is completely like remote control, completely controlled. The reaction is, and then they try to get you to be subscriptive to it, and to do that, it seems like they want you to identify with this manipulation. It seems like the target individual, trying to make that target individual feel guilty, is part of this thing, right? Of course, I'm not going to be one of them subscribing like many. I know myself very well, and I know the changes that I'm experiencing are changes being done to me. And this is not something, if I was myself, if I was not being a target, a human subject, a test subject, I would not experience these things. Matter of fact, as I say this, because I'm putting things in perspective, I can hear this campaign to try to disorient me because they want you to be like acceptive of these things. You think these people can ever make me acceptive of any manipulation I'm experiencing? I don't think they are conscious of how these people look or sound. I don't think they understand how obvious this looks like what it is. a program where human subjects are utilized to advance, increase precision on this technology that's already super sophisticated. And it's obvious that these people that you keep seeing pictures of are not running this fucking show. I'm sorry for the language. The reason why I'm appreciative of taking pictures of these people, and obviously you cannot see the face clearly because it's not about them specifically. They just are an idea, the concept of how these people are trying to present this fantasy. Some of them don't want to be seen because I think it will make the picture even clearer. I think these people, at least, is not as bad as some of the people talking. If some of these people, you will be like, oh my gosh, this child, like what? This person is trying to tell you what? They are people much more childlike than these people. Addressing you, interacting with you via V2K. So, I'm what you call a TI, right? Keep bringing that up a lot. If you ever look up TI and what they say, some of the symptoms, you're going to start hearing some like specific terminology. You're going to hear V2K, which is voice to skull. You're going to hear synthetic telepathy. You're going to hear directed energy. You're going to hear like neural, manipulation, things like that. For example, V2K. V2K is this like technology. Really, actually, this information about it is not something top secret anymore, but there's technology that can project somebody's voice onto somebody's brain. I don't know if it's through microwaves or certain, I'm not the details, but this technology is Department of Defense technology. It's been there for a long time, right? Now this level, I'm sure, is more sophisticated than ever, and easily, projected than before, right? I'm sure it has advanced way better than what it was in the 90s, when I think it was used in like an actual like the Gulf War or something like that. Where I think the first time they implemented that in the war, where they're like Iraqi soldiers, and they were hearing voices, and these voices were saying, "We're God's, stop this, surrender," and this, that, and they all believed it was God talking to them. Actually, all along it was the DOD, the military using this technology, making them believe God was talking to them, and they surrendered, and they so that's in the Gulf War. This is the 90s. Today, target individuals, we get this like same technology applied onto us, and you hear these people talking to you, and some of these people sound like children. Now I've heard that some people, Robert Dawkins says some of the cases they're bots, right? Like bots talking to you. For me, I doubt that they're bots because of not because how sophisticated they sound, but how childlike they sound. It's like they sound so dumbed down that I don't think they can dumb down bots this way. In some cases, I'm like, you sound so childish. Like, would they even be able to make a bot be this childlike? Like, it would be like having a bot this dumbed down is what would make it more sophisticated. Because you would think that a bot would be repetitive. Yes, like they are repetitive, but it would sound less childlike, or in a sense, less dumbed down. So that's why I'm like, I think these people talking to me, a lot of them are probably like actual individuals, because the level of the stupidity that you hear in their voices sounds like actual people. I don't think like bots will sound this dumb. But with that being said, dumb or not, smart or not, this program is as sophisticated and advanced as you can imagine. And so whatever they're going to say, you can experience it. Whatever stupidity they say, as retarded as it sounds, it's not going to change what you're going to experience. You know it makes no sense, but what your brain is going to go into that ways of thinking. For example, I know what they do to children. I hear these testimonials. I know these people are involved in the same program that does horrible things to children. I know this. But you can imagine these people like, now you pay. You know what they're trying to talk about? Or what they're talking about? They are saying that I'm going to pay for this dumb thing I did in middle school as a child. That they had to exaggerate. Me in middle school doing something stupid. And they have created this narration of like, yeah, remember what you did, nah, that's abuse. And talking about me as a middle freaking schooler, a child, doing something so stupid. While these people, I know, very much aware that they are torturing children and using babies as human subjects and doing things as such as using this defense technology to torture them, to hurt them. Can you imagine somebody like that involved in that program doing horrible things to babies? Sexually torturing. We're not talking about some childlike impulsive thing that a child did. We're talking about them literally involved in a program where the life of children are being destroyed. And they come up with stories and narrative that is just so. But because this technology is that sophisticated that your brain can start morphing these narrations and start listening to it in different ways. You know, you are aware of all the reality of what this thing is about. At least the very important ones. Knowing that these people are involved in a program where children are being tortured. You know they're involved in that. You know that they do horrible things to children. Forget about even the way they manipulate you, which is so disturbing. People who care about children, who are worried about the safety of children, will not involve themselves, one, in a program where they torture children. Two, the manipulations have been consistently the same. With other testimonials, they have these systematic tactics of forcing men and women to have these reactions because this technology has the ability to manipulate your brain. They have these systematic tactics to train your brain and condition your brain to think about children in a sexual way. This is not just you saying that, multiple people have said that, to the point that even when I started finding out about a target individual, there's one petition that literally said, symptom, remote pedophilia. Of course, I signed this petition. I regret not having saved this petition and copied it somewhere because it will be scary even more. But not even this petition. Literally, while surveying 1,000 people who claim to be TIs, majority of them have literally said that they do these things where they do this child porn implantation of thoughts. They make you think of child porn or make you imagine these kind of things. Now you understand what they're trying to do. But still, they want you to forget about that. Then you hear literally a woman who herself is a target individual says that even me smelling baby powder, they do this pedophilia type of torture. Still, you hear somebody else saying they are changing how I'm thinking. They're putting pedophilia thoughts. Still, there's a woman, the same woman who says they do the pedophilia type of torture. She's a teacher and teaches young children, which, because she's the teacher who's a target individual, they torture the children to torture her. So you know they even actually harm children. And still, they want you to look at them as like, now you pay. Because what they're saying is, what we're doing, forget about what you just heard. These ways of thinking, you used to think like that when you were a kid. We mapped it to you when you were a kid. Retardation. First of all, no. I was not thinking like that when I was a kid. And two, I'm a grown adult person. You understand that it's proven that these people want you to be this illogical. But that's the purpose. They are trying to rewire reality. Because what they do is they do this pedophilia type of torture and they want you to look at kids in these disturbing ways. Their job is to do that, to break you down, to make you accept these manipulations and identify to these things. But this is just the beginning. You know, so for me, I know it's falsified. I understand. But I'm going to experience this thing 24/7. And every time I experience it, they're going to try to make me like, no, we match it to like, you feel like that when you remember, you don't remember. And then you can manipulate your memories. They can change your memories, slowly going back into your memory and implanting this thing and try to be smooth about it. To change your memories to experience this feeling that you're forced to experience today. And it's so disturbing because slowly you phasing out your memories are changing to replaced with these new versions. It doesn't end there. Then they say, remember what you did as a kid? Yeah. Try to exaggerate what I did. Try to make me believe that I damaged this person. This person who I clearly talked to her father, she doesn't even remember me. Because I was a kid and she was a much younger kid. And they try to make it say, you destroy this kid. It's like, no, you guys destroy children. They project reality. They are literally in a program where they are damaging children, not only psychologically, but physically. But want me to think that I've destroyed this, I literally want, it's just, that's how they have rewired reality. I'm here sending an email to somebody who has no idea who I am at this point. I'm out in the blue saying, hey, remember I was 13 years old, 13, 14. You were like 4 or 5 years old. Don't you remember me? Of course she doesn't. I know she doesn't. I was talking to her father a few years back. I didn't even remember the stupid thing I did to myself, which they tried to exaggerate. And he was like, yeah, the brother remembers you, but she doesn't really remember. I was like, okay, which makes sense. But they're like, no, because now this person is like a masseuse. It's like, no, she became a masseuse because you did this. It's like, oh my gosh. She has no recollection of me. And I didn't even have recollection of what I did when I was a kid. Because it was such an impulsive moment thing that I did to myself that they have to exaggerate. Now, looking back as an adult man, of course I'm looking about it, like, what was I thinking? But I understand children are children. You look at children differently because children are not mentally there. The brain is not developed fully. They can do impulsive things and that's it. Never do it again. Now, if there was a pattern, then there'll be a problem. But you see a kid doing something stupid, never doing it again, you see how dumbed down a child is. That's why I sometimes think these people are like, that's for sure they're not butt. It's just a stupid act of a child doing something stupid. Now, the same people involved in a program where they literally torture children, hurt them, are here, no, you're going to pay for that. Do you know what they do to kids? You know the horrible things they do to babies? They can try to sound whatever way they're going to sound. But this is just the beginning. Listen to what they do to children. And you should see how mad they get. I mean this with their most.
I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, ow.
So they sexually torture them, they suffocate them. You heard the testimonials. The horrible, harmful things they do to these kids. In this program, are things that you can't even understand. So you hear this trash, want me to forget what they're part of. And this is just in the program. Now, like I said, do I think that somebody like them are truly the people in charge of anything? Or just participants? They're just participants. I know these people are not the people who comes up with this technology, these tactics. They might be participants because this technology is sophisticated enough that even a child can partake. This is how sophisticated this thing is. Of course I know it's not true. I know that the people really in charge, running this program, I know these people I'm seeing here. They're not the one running this world, this program. They're just in that circle of participants. They can be the one literally implementing some of the things that I'm experiencing. But I know that they're doing that because they're participating in this program, which is run by these governmental entities. This person can do so much damage to me, and she's a nothing. Not because she's a powerful being, it's because she's participating in a program where they're utilizing this sophisticated DoD technology using human subjects for the purpose of improving this technology. I understand that. I see them as that. There's tomorrow, and the reason why the faces don't matter, like her, like she couldn't go tomorrow. I won't even know. I will not even know. Sometimes I forget she's even there. I see the apartment and that's it. But this is like just the concept of who can just be implementing certain things onto you. Now, these people are working for these entities. These entities running this program has shown a pattern that is disturbing, a real fucking disturbing pattern. These entities running this program have real freaking pedophilia issues. It's not something where they're like, we mapped it to you when you're a kid. We're not talking about middle school doing some damn thing to themselves. We're talking about men or people, I don't know if they're all men, working in DoD entities, agencies, who are obviously in charge of this program, showing consistent disturbing pattern of pedophilia. As I was saying that, via V2K, they're like, try to make me think now, remember what you did as a kid. It is so disgusting how they're trying to rewire reality. As horrible as it is, this program tortured children for sure. The reason why they're doing that is because they need human subjects. To improve any technology that is machine learning, that is AIs, like, you need samples of all sorts, of all culture, to continuously increase precision of this technology. That's why you even do that to babies and children and women of all culture, that's why. Now this rationality, as disturbing as it is, if you're somebody who's just want to improve technology, you'll see it as that. Well, we need to do this. It's necessary to improve this technology, that its goal is to be able to precisely manipulate people better and better. You can put that in that concept immediately if you're just like forgetting the reality of what that means. It means you're using human beings as subjects. But the purpose they're doing these things to us, men, women, and children, is for that purpose. It's to improve a technology that is already super sophisticated, but it got sophisticated because they're using human subjects. They're not going to use animals. They're not going to use monkeys. They need human brains to see how this functions and to improve on technology that's already very sophisticated, because they've used already many human subjects that are men, women, and children. And they're going to continuously do that. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, as disgusting as it is, if you're a person who just like blocks out humanity, you'll be like, and you only think about this technological advances or technological sophistication, you're going to block out that you are literally involved in a program that torture babies too, and women, and you even involve yourself in that. But you're blocking it out because you're thinking about how this technology is going to be so advanced if we use these people in these ways, torturing them in so many ways, disturbing ways. But they have this thought, oh, we're doing that for the purpose, the real purpose, not this fantasy they created, the real purpose behind this, the reason why they're spending millions of dollars on one person, having people moving around them, tormenting them day in and day out. This is not because they don't hate you to spend $1 million on you. They don't care about you. They harness this hate. They create this hate to kind of give them a little bit of a drive to do what they do, because it's horrible what they do. But nobody will spend millions of dollars for you. Who are you? There's real issues in this. I'm in New York City. You know the real horrible things that's happening, the threats? You think these people know reality? They know the truth. They know who they think they live. I'm not in a little bubble, in the middle of nowhere. I'm not in this little. This is real world. There's real danger where I'm in. They see me as just like, oh, okay, this is like a way to make, perhaps incentivize them by money or something like that. But I understand that they're doing this for the purpose of this program and the development of this technology that is extremely sophisticated. And even if it's not even financial incentives, you know the type of technology they're utilizing? Is basically controlling a human being. Do you understand? Some of these trash don't even know what the hell is going on in their life, but they can control me or involve in my controlling. This is like real-time video game with a human being. So this is what is happening to us. So I'm saying that they can rationalize it whatever ways to do these things. The most disgusting part is the tactics that have been architected by these entities that run this program, that are creating this technology, that's improving this technology, that's really running this program. These tactics consist of the pedophile type of torture that are brought up over and over and over. They have these systematic things done. They have these systematic tactics that's like a handbook of things they do. And pedophilia is one of them. As much as they use these retards to try to create this fantasy, like, now we're mad at it. It's like, shut up. I know that you guys do the pedophile type of torture. I'm too validated. And I'm sure the incentives are good enough for you to dumb yourself down to that level. I'm beyond validated. I don't even I can literally play a testimonial right now that say that the things is just surreal. But what disturbs me now, and even before, is who would come with these tactics to break people down? We know the pedophile type of torture is utilized systematically to others. So that means that whoever came up with these tactics had to find ways, what is a man or woman, what's going to break them the most psychologically, because it seems like psychological breakdown is needed for this level of control. And it appears that pedophilia is a tool that they can use to break the target individual, to break his self-image or her self-image. It seems like this is a piece needed for that. Or not needed, but utilized for that. But reality and this disturbing things, and they like to call it, now this is fake. They want they want to sound mysticful. They want to be mystics. I know that there's nothing mysticful about it. It's very sophisticated. I'm surprised by how as sophisticated and advanced this technology is, and how it's just like super sophisticated. That everything around you as a target individual is orchestrated. Everything. It's like your whole life is at this point just created. To whatever you no longer experience genuine reality. Everything you experience at this point is being manipulated. Right? And so you have people who, like I said, know nothing about what's going to happen to them. Unless you're involved in it. Maybe that's when they know what's going to happen to them. But can tell you literally what you're going to hear 3 weeks ago. I talked about like this predictive or orchestrate things around you. They can tell you what you're going to eat 3 days from now, 4 months from now, what's going to happen. Like everything. Because at this point in this program, everything has been mapped in regard of what you're going to experience, what you're going to, everything has been orchestrated. Everything. And so you hear these nobodies telling you, oh, you're going to listen to this on this podcast, you're going to eat this or that, you're going to feel sick then, you're going to feel better now, then you're going to feel better. And you hear who's talking, like, this person doesn't even know what she's going to eat for dinner tomorrow. Now, I'm not saying because of poverty. I'm saying that that's how, she's like, it's just like she doesn't even know what's going to happen to them. I don't think she has a 5-year plan. And so They want me to hear them like, oh my gosh, this mistake for me. Like, yeah, this is fake for what you've done. But the reality, you hear what they've done, what they do to children and women. It's like, you hear what you're involved in? This is the most grotesque things I've heard in my life. This is the things that you hear in biblical, like, horribleness happening to people. Like, even like I said, when I initially started hearing testimonials, sometimes I was like, I'm not gonna believe this. This is just too much. What? And then they say the exact same thing I went through. I was like, what? This poor woman? You serious? Then you hear women saying, yeah, the whole neighborhood is vilifying me. This is like, oh my gosh, this is literally describing this trash I'm seeing here. I'm like, this is crazy. Wow. You can involve what? So you then no longer see them as, I never saw them as mystic beings before, but now it's like, oh my gosh, it's just the trash the government contracts. Because you figure out, obviously, this is a massive government running this program. This is DOD level. What other entities can do this? Then you start learning about the different agencies. You're like, what, DOD? Wow. You find out the type of budget they spend. I was like, what? Who else can spend like that money? And for what purpose? Weapon development, yes. Who have all these things? The DOD. Then you find out some like DARPA, like what's DARPA? The Defense Advanced Research Program Agency. So what's this thing? You go on their website, they're like, oh my gosh. This is the brain of DOD, the brain of the Pentagon. There is nothing more, they have the most sophisticated technology you can imagine on Earth, on this planet Earth, is over there. There is no other entity that has the level of technology. It's super secretive, and the things that you think that they are so advanced in sophistication and technology, it is ridiculous. This is where this kind of technology can be developed and created. You go on their website, you'll be shocked at things that, and please understand, they are very secretive. So what they're sharing is just a small, minuscule fraction with a lot of sugar coating of what they actually do. They're not going to say the exact thing. This is like extremely secretive technology that's, they're just saying that they're just giving you a little glimpse of a glimpse of a glimpse. You go there right now, they try to, DARPA is a defense agency. So they specialize in weaponizing technology. That's what they do. They weaponize technology. They're not here to make the world better. Their job, the number one job, is to create the most sophisticated technology for the Department of Defense. The purpose of weaponizing whatever technology they're creating. This is not to make the world a better place. It's to make the DOD be the most advanced in regard of weapons and technology for weaponizing whatever they need to. They are an agency of the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense specializes in military assets. So DARPA focuses on that number one and foremost. That's what they're here for. Lasers and things like that, for warlike things, for weapons. And so to go on their website, and there's other website already talking about how they've been like working with like memories. They can create a artificial memory thing. Oh Jesus! But they obviously do that. They're showing, no, we're doing that just in case of people having in trauma or PTSD, and for the soldier coming back, and they need to be like memories needs to be erased and changed. You tell me that people like that will not weaponize false memories? Do you think that a entity working for the Department of Defense will not want to manipulate memories to harm somebody, to break down people, working for the Department of Defense? You don't think they can look at a target as like, hey, let's implant these false memories? An entity specifically for the Department of Defense? They think like everything is obvious that, okay, this is where it's coming from. This is where this is the entities with the assets, with the resources and the technology to be capable to do these things to us. Not some rogue fantasy retards like these people. This is obviously not that. Now you understand. And so you realize, oh wow, that's where it's coming from. That's why everywhere I go in the world, there's no way to get away from this. Those are the entities that can do these things. Those are these powerful entities that everywhere you go in the world, they'll be there. There's not anywhere in the world these entities will not be able to get to you. First of all, every other nation all on the same page. But now, once you understand that, then you find out the CIA. You learn about how CIA has been for a long time. And this is the most disgusting part. In the 50s, these people are the architecture of actually what's happened to us. It's just today, now we have some entities like the DOD spending a lot of money, utilizing the top of the top technology. But the CIA is truly the architecture of this new version of what we go through now. The CIA in the 50s were working on what they call MK Ultra. This is real. I didn't know anything about MK Ultra until I became a target individual. MK Ultra was a program that was meant to have to be able to manipulate a human being, make that person do things or behave ways that he would not behave or she would not behave, controlling a human being. That was the whole purpose of this thing. And some horrible things has happened. They were already manipulating memories, but without the technology that we have now. They were doing like they're creating false memories via like old school brainwashing tactics with LSD and other drugs, whatever drugs they did. Old school stuff. Before today, DARPA, now they have everything with like, they can stimulate your brains. And so even during that time, they got so far doing so much things. 50s to the 70s, they were all these different things. So the expertise of the CIA, the financial aspect of the DOD, the technology of the DARPA, you're like, this is what it's about. Then we talk about all the different assets the DOD. Oh my gosh, this is where it's coming from. I understand now. This is what that's what they're doing so much on one person. So much effort. So much effort. You can even understand. Noise campaign from sirens to what, all orchestrated to make you accept a false reality. And so this is when you once you establish that, it's like, okay, I understand. Then something more disgusting comes up. Then you figure out a pattern that is so grotesque. Like I said, the pedophilia type of torture is consistently utilized, but you think, even though it's disgusting, even though I was like, who can come up with these ways of forcing people to think, and who can be comfortable implementing these tactics? They work day in and day out to condition your brain in disgusting ways. Dream manipulation and all. Thoughts forced. They're dragging the little babies around, so when you see them, they can do this manipulation and force you to get reality.